So in today's video, we're going to compare between chicken farming, rabbit farming, piggery farming, and goat farming. Which one is more profitable, so that you can make the decisions based on this video.
Hello viewers, in today's video I'll be comparing the above mentioned farming, the below mentioned farming projects, and most of my points will concentrate about rabbitry farming, why we did concentrate and chose rabbitry farming. And one of the reasons is rabbits are easy animals to manage compared to the chicken, pigs, and the goats, because the rabbits, they only require a simple space where you are only required to establish the cages for the rabbits. As you see now, we can withhold over 1,000 rabbits when we try to fill this place. Looking at the cages constructed, that means we are using a little space to take care of many animals, which is far away different from the piggery, poultry farming, and goats rearing. The first point is we only require a simple space compared to other animals in terms of rearing. Then another point will be in terms of medication. Rabbits are animals that can be treated in a simple way. You can either use the feeds that you normally give them. Like here, we've been treating our rabbits, deworming them using the aloe vera, and treating them from diarrhea also using aloe vera. That means we have a common drug and a common treatment for our rabbits. That is the aloe vera that works on deworming, also works on the treatment of diarrhea. So that's the best part that I did concentrate about with the treatment. Then when it comes to feeding, it is easy feeding these rabbits. When you are submissive, you're doing it with passion, you can feed the rabbits easily, because first and foremost, most of the feeds we give to the rabbits, they are not bought. They are only got from places around or the gardens around, mostly the weed we normally give. Then when it comes to feeding also, we feed these rabbits on hay, and one bale of hay is accounted for at 20 Ugandan shillings, which feeds almost the whole farm for some good time. So that means the expense of buying the costs for the rabbits, for the feeds for the rabbits, is now reduced. So, and another thing, with the feeds we normally purchase, they only take some good time in terms of feeding, because when we buy 100 kgs of rabbit pellets, they feed the whole farm for almost 1 to 2 months. So that means the costs of feeding are minimized here at the farm compared to other animals as the pigs, the goats, even the poultry. So another thing with the rabbits, we sell off the rabbits for meat themselves, sell the rabbits for breeding themselves. We also sell the rabbit byproducts, such as the rabbit poo used as the fertilizer, and the rabbit urine, in most cases used as a pesticide. That means we are earning in different ways with the rabbits. Furthermore, comparing the rabbits to the poultry, piggery, and goats rearing, rabbits only require you having the cages set in place and having some feeds for the rabbits. Looking at our structure here that we did build, it did not take us much much of the funds to establish, because we used local timber, we used the wire mesh, and even used some poles to establish at the farm. That means the expense was minimized, as we did use these local things here around at our farm. Unlike with other animals, you only require establishing like the cement, constructing the building with bricks, laying them down. But with this rabbitry farm, it's been easy that we did use the local or around equipment to establish it in place. So that means it is easy to establish when you have the cages and you have this well aerated building around. That means you can establish your farm. Then another thing is, these rabbits are very peaceful animals, that they don't make unnecessary noise and unnecessary movements, unlike other animals like the piggery. They always shout, make noise. The goats the same, even the poultry doing the same. So that means the rabbits have got a win with a peace compared to other animals.
So now let us move to piggery.
So in today's comparison, we have the piggery and the rabbitry farming. So of the two, I will begin with the piggery. Piggery is somehow expensive to establish, since it requires a relatively large space of land where you are going to construct the pigs' houses. And in terms of construction, the infrastructure, also the farm structure also requires a bit higher amounts of capital, because you are required to construct the piggery house using the cement, bricks. That means you are going to encounter high costs of capital as you're establishing the piggery farm. Compared to the rabbitry farm, we only had to use the timber, the poles, to establish the farm and putting the cages in place. So that means it is relatively expensive to start a piggery farm than a rabbitry farm. So furthermore, talking about the costs of the feeds, the pigs feeds costs relatively high amount of money compared to the rabbits farm, because the pigs only feed on manufactured feeds, the ones that are already made. Unlike to the rabbits, they feed on both the already made feeds and the ones that can be collected around the garden, or from the garden, or from somewhere around. That means it is relatively cheap rearing rabbits compared to piggery farming. And in terms of production, we talk about the pigs. The gestation period for the pigs after successful mating is 3 months, 3 weeks and 3 days to give birth. Then comparing it to our rabbits here, the gestation period for the rabbits is 1 month or even 28 days. That means it is relatively cheap to rear rabbits compared to piggery, because with the terms of production, the pigs take longer compared to the rabbits. The pigs are of 3 months, the rabbits are of 1 month and below. That means it is cheaper to rear the rabbits than the pigs. Then talking about the maturity or the growing, the bringing up of the young ones of the pigs, the piglets. That means talking about the bringing up of the young ones. For the pigs, it requires 4 and above months to mature, even depending on the way you feed them. So with the rabbits, it is only 3 months, 3 to 4 months, bringing up the rabbits with proper management, when you manage them properly at the farm. So furthermore, comparing the piggery to the rabbitry is
So talking about management,
still comparing piggery with rabbitry. We've now gone to management. So with the rabbits, it is easy when one animal is sick. You can easily isolate the sick animal to save the rest, and hence bringing up the farm in a proper managing way. So with the pigs, when swine fever hits one of the pigs, that means the rest are also going to suffer the same, so you end up losing
everything.
so that's it.
So again, we're going to compare rabbits and chicken. Then at the end of the day, it's you to make the decision.
So furthermore, comparing rabbitry to poultry farming, here we're also going to talk about the goods and the bads about both of them.
So can we start with the cost? The cost of starting a rabbitry and the cost of starting a chicken farm.
The costs of establishing a rabbitry farm are relatively low compared to the costs of establishing a poultry farm, as when we talk about establishing the place, it requires a relatively large space or a relatively large land to establish a poultry farm compared to the rabbitry farm, because we only require a simple space and the establishment of cages.
So let us move to scale. Which one requires more scale? Rabbits or poultry? And which one is easier to start?
Comparing the two, rabbitry does not require much skill. You can learn everything by experience. You learn everything through encountering or facing the farming, because you can learn from the rabbits. They can show you what to do, how to feed them, because you always look at them. But with the chicken, you only require more of the knowledge about the chicken.
Things like feed formulation, disease control, and marketing.
That's it.
So let us talk about management. Which one is easier to manage between rabbits and chicken?
Comparing management in poultry to rabbitry, it is easier to manage the rabbits in terms of feeds, because we don't buy the feeds, most of the feeds. We buy some of the feeds, such as the rabbit pellets, which also take us a longer time, or some time of about 2 to 3 months, as we are feeding the rabbits, because we feed them on already made feeds and we feed them on the weed from the plantations. So with the poultry, you are required to buy specific feeds for some of the birds, because we have the layers, they feed on their own feeds. That means you have to encounter an extended cost to buy the layers mash.
So let us talk about profitability between the rabbits and the chicken. Which one is more profitable?
Comparing profitability with poultry and rabbitry, here the rabbits produce more bunnies compared to the chicken, because the chicken sometimes they hatch their eggs with a fewer number, but here we have an average number of 5 and above. That means they can give birth to more than 5 or more than 5 bunnies at a time, and with their gestation period it's 1 month. But for the chicken, it has to lay the eggs first. After laying the eggs, it has to sit on its eggs for 21 days. Then as the 21 days are done, it has to hatch. Hatching also taking the chicks into another process of bringing them up. But here with the rabbits, they only encounter the gestation period of the 1 month. Then with the 1 month, when it's done, they deliver. When after delivery, we only take care of the bunnies in one place, in an organized place. Unlike with the chicken, the only neglects its chicks.
Okay, now can we compare rabbits and goats.
Comparing goats to rabbits, the first issue is about establishment. With the establishment of goats, it requires a relatively large amount of land or amount of space, because you may need or require an acre to establish the 20 goats you have. But here with the rabbits, even not half of an acre, we can rear more than 500 or 1,000 rabbits in one place when establishing the farm structure, like the cages. That means everything is done. So now with the goats, they have complex diseases, unlike the rabbits. Rabbits have fewer diseases that can easily be treated and prevented in one way or the other. Thank you.